Right. That's great. And we'll edit afterwards too. So
Okay.
well, we're so excited, Joe and I from iFinance Mortgage to be together here with you, Rogelio Goertzen. Some exciting things to talk about, and we welcome you to our podcast today. You're the president and CEO of something very new and special, and it's called H.O.M.E, the Hispanic Organization of Mortgage Experts. Welcome, Rogelio.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're so glad to have you with us today. And for the benefit of those that will listen to our podcast here, we want to get to know you better. And we're going to ask you some questions to hear about your background, but some exciting breaking news that we cannot wait for you to share with us as well. So let's jump right into it. When did you enter into the finance and housing industry?
Oh, that's a great question. So I got into the industry about 12 years ago, and I started as a loan officer, actually on the retail side of things, and I was helping build out the Spanish side of that lender. And they were the number one lender for a while. And then I ventured off and found out what wholesale was. And I fell in love with the wholesale channel, and 10 years of my career of the 12 years were spent in the wholesale channel, really growing that and scaling that from 10% to 30% what it is today.
Oh, that's amazing. I got to say, Joe, he doesn't look old enough to have all that experience.
Exactly. What's the secret?
Being Hispanic, it keeps
There
us
you
Yeah.
go.
Yes, so it's exciting. So you just recently launched a new organization, right? Called H.O.M.E, right? The Hispanic Organization of Mortgage Experts. Can you explain a little bit more what's your mission behind this organization and what was your motivation?
Yeah, absolutely. So, to be honest, the roots of this organization stem well into my career as an originator and also in the wholesale channel, building that up. I noticed that there wasn't the support and the tools that the Hispanic loan officers needed or the sense of community. And I tried connecting people and I tried promoting people and getting them to do it. And funny enough, it was something that was a passion of mine. And it wasn't until COVID hit when the whole world shut down and it really opened my eyes to how much we really need each other that I said, you know what, I'm going to combine my passion for the wholesale channel and the Hispanic community. And I want to create a movement. I want to create a group, but I don't know what to call it. And then that's when H.O.M.E kind of appeared to me. And I trademarked it quickly, and then created the logo. And that's when it really like hit home to me. And I said, you know what, this is where I need to invest my time and my energy in is the Hispanic loan officers to educate the Hispanic community that there's more options than just the big banks out there. Because the reality is consumers go to the big banks and they get denied and they get told no 2, 3 times, and they have no path or no game plan as to how to obtain a home. And connecting with the local mortgage broker empowers them and shows them that path to home ownership at a more accelerated rate.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And as Joe and I have been in the business for several years too, we see that there's a great need. There's those that are honestly been underserved, and it's so good to see this initiative. And maybe we can ask, what are your top priorities of home in the upcoming year?
Absolutely. So one of my main goals is to have a state captain in all 50 states. So previously, Hispanics have kind of just been in Florida, in Texas, in San Diego, warmer climates. But now, because of the housing inventory and really the economy, that's causing them to move in all 50 states. Like 20,000 Hispanics last year moved to Ohio. How many LOs are licensed in Ohio? And how many Hispanic loan officers facilitated that relocation from California to Ohio, to make that an easier transition? So my goal is to have someone in all 50 states to be able to support our members and then also leverage technology, chat AI, and different things like that to connect with the Hispanic community right at home.
That's amazing.
That's nice. And what initiatives are you most excited about moving forward for, finalizing 2024 and moving into 2025?
Honestly, the biggest initiative is the 50 states, because as long as we have someone representing our people in the 50 states, I know that they can be served. to the best of their ability. And then from there, it's connecting in more local communities and more local chapters. Like we're going to be sponsoring football games and sports.
Ooh, well, like
Different
that.
things in the community, which is something very different that a lot of housing industry trade groups don't necessarily do. They mainly focus on the more high level stuff, but I want to be right where our people are, and that's right in the community at the supermercados and the local football games.
There you
Nice.
go. We might have to take a Cabo trip or something,
Yes.
you know? I mean,
I'm always down.
partnerships. Can you talk a little bit about how important partnerships and those initiatives are for you?
Absolutely. So throughout the last 12 years, I've met some amazing, amazing people. Part of my role at UWM, I was over our top 200 clients, and I was able to really connect with people from all circles, all ways of life. So those relationships is something that I'm planning on catapulting and taking to the next level as we focus more on the Hispanic community as well. One interesting statistic that most people don't know, 71% of Hispanics actually bought at 80% AMI or above. So they're not even buying in low income areas. And that's kind
Wow.
of myths that people think is Hispanics are buying in low income areas or they can't afford a home, when in reality, they are more prepared more than ever. And so many Hispanics are growing and scaling. 1 million Hispanics will turn 18 every single year. And we as a loan originator and as well as a lending community need to be able to facilitate that. So all of those partnerships that I've built up, I'm only going to amplify and take things to the next level.
Love to hear that. That's so exciting. And kind of a follow-up question to that too is, what are you seeing on a national level with the Hispanic community and and lending? I think we kind of talked a little bit about that. People are moving a little bit, but is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, they're moving everywhere. So Hispanics are primarily the most important thing to them is their family, their home,
Yeah.
and making sure that they all have sustainable jobs to be able to support their family. And a lot of them are moving to different areas. Like for example, Idaho. Idaho has 2,000 Hispanics moved there last year, and there's only 3 Hispanic loan officers. 2 of them are in the wholesale channel. One of them is in retail. But
Wow.
that's my main point is now that the demographics are kind of changing and they're migrating to different areas, let's all unite as loan officers and empower each other to connect with our community because there's plenty of business out there for all of us.
Yeah, we might have to head up to Idaho, Joe.
Yes, yes. Yeah. No, and it's nice. So, I know you and I, we met about 10 years ago. You're our account executive first, at UWM. But ever since I met you, Rogelio, you've always had a positive attitude. You've been so energetic, very, it's always inspiring to say hi to you. Sometimes there's some people that walk around, they're so negative, but, you've always been inspiring and you've always been positive. I've always told you that there was something unique about you when I first met you. Sometimes it's a success leaves clues, right? And it's about, paying attention to details. And every time I see you, I always say thank you. I remember when you first had our accounts and my wife was pregnant and we had a son and you sent us a gift, and that says a lot about your character and who you are as an individual, right? And I want to ask you, like, who's behind Rogelio? What inspires you? What motivates you?
To be honest, it's well, thank you. Thank you for those kind words. It means a lot to me. I try to be a better version of myself at each and every day. And I really do believe that God put us on this earth for a reason. And why not be positive about it? I don't look at my life and look at the negative things that happen. I try to look at the 99 positive things that happen because in reality, you always have something to be grateful for. But going back to who inspires me, my father, first and foremost, he was an
Mhm.
immigrant from Mexico, went to Canada when he was 14 years old. He established credit in Canada and the United States and managed to build a house brick by brick. The only thing he paid for someone to do was dig out the basement while working a full-time job and having 3 kids. I'm the youngest one. So seeing him do the things that he needed to do to make sure that his family was taken care of is what inspires me and really shows me the grit and tenacity that the Hispanic community has. And then also Matt Ishbia. He essentially was the only one that believed in the wholesale channel. And it was
Mhm.
awesome to be along on the journey when other CEOs and big banks were trying to discredit him. And they were trying to say, hey, there's more money in retail. What are you doing? Like, that doesn't make sense. And he went against the grain and truly proved that the wholesale channel is the best option for consumers and originators. And now he's the #1 overall lender. Like, seeing that underdog story and no one believing in him, but him staying true to himself, those are two people that just have indented my life, and I'm extremely grateful for.
Yeah, that's incredible. We really appreciate you sharing that, and I think Joe and I too can look at people that have inspired us to be who we are, to be better versions, as you said, of ourselves. I know my father, the same thing. He's a guy that gets up every morning and he cares so much about people, and you can just feel it. It just oozes out of his body,
Yeah,
And when you have that approach, you really care about people, starting with your own family first, and then you want to help other families like that. There's nothing we can't accomplish. And so that's why we're so excited to see where your inspiration comes from. But now, man, you're ready to launch and go to new levels.
absolutely.
Exciting. Well, another question that comes up is, there's a lot of mortgage professionals. We mentioned that they might feel underserved, they might feel undertrained, undereducated in this business, or feel like they're alone in this business. What advice would you have to them to be successful as a mortgage professional?
Absolutely. Great question. So, first off, figure out who you are. What do you want to do? If you're in this industry just to make a couple big bucks, to be honest, it's probably not for you because, as you
Mhm.
guys know, you've been around for a while. There's ups and downs and it's cyclical. You may have a great 2, 3 years and then have to deal with 2, 3 years of famine, as we all have seen.
Mhm.
And especially with seeing about 40% attrition rate in the industry, real estate and lending combined, it's one of those things where you have to commit to yourself. If this is your career path, if this is what you want to do, stick to it and grow and find your circle. Who are the people that you want to be with? Like, it's no coincidence that you two connected, and it's because you guys have that same wavelength, that same energy. You inspire each other, you bring the juice each and every day, and you have to find the right people that are committed to that same mission and then keep at it. Double up, triple up. Don't just commit 2, 3 years to a goal. Commit 5, commit 10,
Mhm.
and that will take you on a successful path.
Yeah, that's really well said, and it's great advice for those that are listening to this and will listen to this. You're not alone. You have true professionals like Rogelio here too that can help guide, and that's why we're so excited about this new initiative, Home.
Absolutely. And just like you guys, you offer advice to so many different people, originators that might not even come on board to your company, but you say, hey, these are the options. This is the pros. This is the cons. I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, whatever you decide to do, we're here to serve you if you want to join our company. But ultimately, it's up to you. And it's people like us that, in my opinion, keep the industry going because we give the truth, we give the facts, and we want to empower everybody.
Absolutely.
So what do you consider, what is like the most leading part of leading the home organization for you?
For me, it's I connected with a Hispanic loan officer. It was our first time meeting um, last week, and we went out for pho. And he told me this story on how he essentially grew up in a part of the United States that wasn't filled with Hispanics. And not that he was ashamed, but he wasn't like proud to be Hispanic like other
Mhm.
Hispanics. And he said that he went and he lived in Asia for a while, and then he went to all of these different countries, Germany for a minute, and he goes, and then I was in Colombia with a bunch of Hispanics, and he was Mexican, but he goes, it's Spanish and the culture, it's still one the same. He goes, and it took me all of that to realize, you know what? The Hispanic community has always been here for me. The Hispanic community has always embraced me and loved me. Why am I trying to run away from it and try to find another culture that I can be a part of when my culture is so amazing? So it's honestly it's the fact that the Hispanic community is so blended. Like, I'm Mexican and German. I was born in Canada. I've lived in the United States my entire life. And there's a lot of Hispanics that might not feel a part of their community or a part of being Hispanic. And I want to bridge all of that. Like, my luckily Spanish was my very first language, but to a lot of Hispanics, they weren't allowed to speak Spanish, and their parents
Mhm.
didn't want them to speak Spanish, or grandparents didn't, so that they weren't discriminated on.
That's
And
right.
those are things that we don't realize happened. And and why we kind of speak a Spanglish type of a way of speaking, but in reality, that happened in the United States. And instead of playing the victim, because I don't think that's something that we do culturally well, we never play the victim. We always, play the victor. Let's empower everybody throughout the United States. It doesn't matter how your English is, if you speak Spanglish, if you speak more English than Spanish, but let's bridge everybody and let's create a sense of community and empower everybody, because the reality is that's the future of America. That's the kids. We need to make sure that they're well educated, that they can obtain home ownership, and that they have a good home to establish their roots and grow for the future. So that's what drives me with this home initiative. It's being able to empower that for the next 10, 20, 30 years to come.
That's powerful.
It is. We can feel your passion coming through the screen right here. And, when you look at it, we're in the business to serve. We are servants, public servants, and it just so happens to be in the finance and the mortgage industry. And there's, I think, no more exciting time to be in this business than right now. I had a young man ask me the other day, well, when should I get started? I says, yesterday, but it's never too late. Start today.
Yeah.
Now's the time to get into this business, because there's organizations like yourself, the Hispanic Organization of Mortgage Experts, that are set up to help grow. And this is just so exciting. We're so glad to not only know you, where you've come from, where you're at now, where you're going. And speaking of where you're going, what are kind of the next steps? Let's say I want to become part of H.O.M.E. How do I do that?
Absolutely. So you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. You can join right then and there. It's called tunuevohome.com. That's where you go and you become a member. And then from there, like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram. We're constantly posting so many different things to promote the Hispanic loan officers. And then also share your success stories with us. We want to hear about the homeowner that you helped get into a home that was denied 3 or 4 times by a big bank, or the widow that didn't think that home ownership was possible, but because of your commitment through a down payment assistance program, you were able to get her in that dream home. So those are the type of stories that I want to highlight, and I really want to empower the individual loan officer. And there's a reason why I'm not originating. There's a reason why I'm not necessarily why I don't have my own brokerage. It's so that I can invest in you guys in all 50 states and make sure that you guys are the ones that I'm promoting more than anything else. So share those stories and be a community within each other. And I'm excited because it's just the beginning.
It's a greater calling.
Yes.
And we appreciate that. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Rogelio, for taking your time. We know you're busy as you're getting everything ramped up here, and these precious moments that you've taken with us will inspire others. And no doubt this incredible movement that will take over the United States and help so many underserved and those that want to get better. So thank you for taking time with us. Any closing remarks, Joe?
No, we're excited to be part of this with you, Rogelio. We're here to support you here from California. And everything, the exciting part is the beginning, right? It's when you started off, when it's just an idea, and now it's coming to life, and now you're putting it in play. So we're really excited for you. We're proud of you. And whatever we can do and iFinance can do, we're here to support you and your calling and your cause.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much, especially because you were one of my very first accounts. Like, I cannot even explain how much that means to me and how full circle that moment is, because I haven't changed. My mission hasn't changed. I still love the Hispanic community, and I still love the wholesale channel. Now it's just going to be amplified, and I can't wait to further this relationship even more. And I'm very grateful that God put you guys in my path 10 years ago, and you're still here. I'm still here, and I can't wait to see where things go.
Awesome.
Likewise. And we will see you at the top, my friend.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll stop the recording now.